All right. God, I thought I was past this coughing fit. Give me a moment. Hello. Welcome to the Shark Stream. My name's Gage. Sorry, I scarfed down a burger. That barbecue sauce has a bit of kick to it. Hello and welcome to the Shark Stream. My name is Gage, aka Acid Shork. Your host with something. Perhaps the most, but we don't really know for sure. That hasn't been addressed in the lore yet. What a weird 2 fucking days it's been. Waiting on the test results, exactly. Hello, Ion. Welcome. What a weird couple of days it's been. I so desperately, deep within my core, deep down, I want to talk about it. You know, I really do. Because I spent almost all of yesterday crashing out about it. And I'm still... it still affects me. But we'll save it for later. There's stuff I would rather talk about. There are things... there are things happening that are far more interesting. Xbox had a partner preview the other day. Not a whole lot of shit I'm super interested in, but there was a showing from our friends at Rebellion, the developers of AVP 2010, and realistically also the first AVP game, and Judge Dredd, Dredd vs. Death, which... it's on my shortlist somewhere. Eventually I'll probably stream it. They had a showing yesterday at the Xbox Partner Preview, where they showed off a game called that they're working on called Alien Deathstorm, which is... I mean, it looks great. It looks like a lot of fun, honestly. I feel like I made the point when we were playing through AVP 2010 that I was a big fan of it. I really liked what Rebellion had put together for that game. So I'm willing to check out... excuse me. I'm willing to check out what they're working on next. I will say, I made this observation on Blue Sky. It feels like they were pitching, and they developed a prototype to pitch a Alien game. Like a game for the franchise Alien. And we're not given the license, so they turned around and said, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves. Which is not an unheard of practice. Famously... oh, what was that developer called? Renegade Kid. Famously, Renegade Kid had developed a treatment for a Silent Hill game on the DS, which they didn't get approved, but they turned that into the Dimension games. And I really hope they do Dimension 2 HD. Because the first game's fine, but like Dimension 2 is where that shit is fucking at. But ADS, Alien Deathstorm, looks interesting. I think of all of the games during that showcase, I think that was like the one that I had any interest in. Rumor has it we're not getting a Nintendo Direct until June, which, like, fine, okay. I've got plenty of shit to keep me occupied until then. It's cool, whatever. But there's rumors. There's rumors and speculation and inside sources that seem to say, y'all, we might be getting a new Star Fox this year. They might be dropping a new Star Fox for the Switch 2, a classic style, quote-unquote, Star Fox, for the Switch 2 sometime over the summer. Just out of goddamn nowhere. And you know I'm all about that shit. It's what made me, I'm a huge fan of Star Fox. It's why I was crashing out all of yesterday. But we're not going to talk about that yet. This insider source also seemed to indicate that we were also going to be getting a remake of Ocarina of Time this year. As well as the fact that there were no planned 3D Mario games. So, I mean, listen, I'm not Mario's strongest soldier. I'm going to be entirely honest. It is not a franchise that I live or die by. I am 100% a Metroid Star Fox bitch. And you can take that to the fucking bank. I gotta make a gross noise real quick. 1 second. Alright. So if there are whisperings of a new Star Fox game on the horizon, I can tell you with absolute certainty, I will be there. A bitch is gonna be there for it. I am currently working on getting some new art for Star Fox now that I know that. And also in part just because, like, I mean, they gotta put Adventures in Assault on the NSO GameCube channel sometime, right? Like, they gotta. They have to. They have to. You gotta do this for me, Nintendo. Come on. It would make him very easy to stream. I do want to stream Star Fox Adventures again. Because the last Adventure stream was forever ago. Hello, Kale. Welcome. Miyamoto refuses to acknowledge Crystal's existence. Miyamoto is a fucking coward, quite frankly. I was talking about this. I was in Caramiella's Discord server talking about this. What Star Fox really needs is, like, more than anything, in order to thrive, is it needs Nintendo to treat it like Metroid. It needs Nintendo to treat it like Metroid, wherein it's just, like, licensing it out to other studios, just like, yeah, you know, do whatever, who fucking cares. But at the same time, there's, like, one guy in all of Nintendo who is ride or die for Star Fox. The problem is that right now, I think the closest thing... Ain't that how we got Assault and Command? Yes, exactly. Right now, I think part of the problem is that at the moment, the closest thing we have to somebody who's ride or die for Star Fox is Miyamoto. But not for all of Star Fox. Which is the problem. But yeah, that's how we got Assault and Command. And I love Assault. Assault is the best game in the series. I will die on this fucking hill. I love Assault. I have warmed up on Command over the years. Assault is fantastic. It needs more levels. True. 10 is way too short. Yeah, I will give you that. Assault, like, realistically speaking, gamers are fickle bitches. I feel like we're hitting the point. Star Fox Zero is, how to put this? Star Fox Zero is the Sonic Lost World of the Star Fox series. How do we feel about that? How brave, how true. Because like the issue is, so Star Fox and Sonic had very like, hold on, we're gonna at the very least get to the title screen here. Give me a moment. Sonic and Star Fox have these very, very similar trajectories. Where it's like you have classic games, Star Fox 64, the original Genesis titles for Sonic that like are beloved, right? And then you've got like the chunk of time where like it was starting to get like experimental, right? Hilariously, Sonic did a little bit better, like in terms of just kind of like general reception with its more like experimental what's the word I'm looking for? Period of time than Star Fox did. Where like you've got Adventures and you've got Assault for Star Fox, where it was getting experimental, doing like, oh, here's Star Fox, but it's like a Zelda. Or here's Star Fox, but you're not in the R-Wing all the time, and we've got like on-foot shooting mechanics. And then like with Sonic, that was like Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, right? The problem is with Star Fox is that they hit their Sonic heroes, which would be Command. And while Sonic bravely forged ahead after their Sonic heroes, Star Fox stopped dead with Command for years. But eventually, like, just sort of like general public opinion got to a point where it sort of like influenced what the parent company was willing to do with the franchise, right? So like with Sonic, you've got like the return to form of like sort of starting with Unleashed, but like big time with like Colors, right? And then with Star Fox, you've got the return to form with Star Fox 64 3D, which in both cases, you know, people love the daytime levels Unleashed, people enjoyed Sonic Colors, and Star Fox 64 3D was good. It was good. It was just Star Fox 64 again, but this was a point at which this was like, people were fine with that. I am fully convinced that Crystal becoming Furry Queen is exactly why Nintendo is hesitating. I don't know about that, because even then they put Crystal in Smash Ultimate as an assist trophy. Like, so I don't know if, like, Sakurai is in Crystal's corner. Maybe we need Sakurai working on Star Fox. I don't know. Motherfucker directed Kid Icarus Uprising. I think Sakurai could make a fucking banger Star Fox, if we're being entirely honest here. And he would not be afraid. He would not be afraid. I fucking saw Medusa, man. You've fucking seen Palutena. He would not be afraid. Crystal would be tits out front and center if Sakurai was at the helm. Maybe not tits out. But he would give her the cleavage she deserves. Fuck you, now I want a Sakurai Star Fox. Oh, man. But again, it's kind of a situation where, like, public opinion won the day, right? And we got Sonic Colors, which was like a return to form where it's like, okay, we're going to pare back the number of Sonic's friends, focus on just Sonic and Tails, and we're going to focus on speed and like not gimmicks, right? And with Star Fox 64 3D, it was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and release this 3DS version of Star Fox with some updated graphics, some better voice lines, stuff like that. Um, and people enjoyed it. People enjoyed both of those. Um, and then Sonic Lost World was kind of the point that people were like, hey, this particular formula for Sonic is getting a little stale. I think perhaps uh, maybe we should, I don't know, let the stories be good, perhaps. Um, and then on the Star Fox side of things, you release Star Fox Zero, which is just Star Fox 64 again. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Um, both games had a weird control scheme. Neither one was particularly well received. I feel like Lost World has had, I'm almost certain Lost World has had a bit of reevaluation in recent years. Um, Zero has not, Star Fox Zero has not. People are still not huge fans of Star Fox Zero. Um, but while Sega is like, we have to keep making Sonic games, we have such a dedicated Sonic fan base, we know they love it, we know they'll buy it, we just need to make them good. Nintendo is just like, we could probably go without doing Star Fox for a little bit, and then they just go nearly 10 years without a Star Fox game. The last release that we got for Star Fox was 2017, when they finally released Star Fox 2 on the SNES Classic. Hello, Necromancer Kobold. Welcome on. Welcome. Thank you for being subbed for 18 months. That's as much as double nine mouths. Mouths? I guess what I'm saying is that we need Star Fox Frontiers. Ultimately, that's what it is. You know? We need the Sonic Frontiers of Star Fox games. But like, this is also kind of what I was talking about, where it's just like Star Fox needs somebody. Star Fox needs its Sakamoto. You know? Like, I remember, like, we all remember like seeing the trailer for Metroid Dread and being like, holy shit, they're actually doing Metroid Dread. And a bunch of people were just like, I mean, you know, it's just they're making like a new game and they're calling it Dread to get like the attention of the people who have been following this shit for years. And then like Sakamoto has to come out and just like, no, this is literally the game that I've been trying to make for like a decade. It's just like, oh, it's genuinely Metroid Dread. Like, it's that's what it is. Like, that's what I mean when I say that like they need to, because Mercury Steam fucking killed it with Samus Returns and Metroid Dread. Like, that is a double whammy of like Metroid games that I don't think it's on the level of like Retro Studios going from Prime 1 to Prime 2, I would argue. Mercury Steam going from Samus Returns to Dread is to Retro Studios going Prime 1 to Prime 2. Star Fox is in my growing list of games that I'm shocked there isn't more of to modern day. It's, like I said, it really kind of comes down to that I don't think that there is like a person at Nintendo that is championing the continuation of that series. The way that, in the analogy that I'm making here, Sakamoto is the one who like champions like making new Metroid games. They're not always great, you know. For every fusion, for every Zero Mission, for every Dread, we do get the occasional Other M. For every Metroid Prime 2, we have a Federation Force. But at the same time, it's just like there is a guy there who is just kind of like hanging out in the background, like scribbling down ideas that he thinks would be really good for Metroid, you know? There's a guy out there who a chunk of his time at Nintendo was basically him being like, hey guys, can we make Metroid Dread yet? Hey, how about Metroid Dread? Metroid Dread tonight, Queen? And it really took Mercury Steam like knocking it out of the park with Samus Returns and that game just being like genuinely good and fun to play for like them to finally be like, okay, we have a team here that can make a good 2D Metroid game. And Sakamoto's been over here trying to get Metroid Dread off the ground for a decade. Why don't we just make Metroid Dread? And then they made Metroid Dread. Like, not every single Nintendo property benefits from being made strictly by an internal team, you know? They do occasionally have franchises where it's just like, why don't we just give this to somebody else and have them just go nuts with it? Like, that's how we got, like, Metroid Prime. That's how we got Star Fox Assault. They gave it to Bamco, and Bamco was just like, yeah, sure, why not? And they knocked it out of the fucking park. Or at the very least, that should be the popular opinion. Because Assault is the best game in the series. I may not die on this hill, but I will kill you on this hill. And, like, I get that I feel like there's reluctance there on the whole, because I feel like people don't remember like, the Metroids made. When people think of, like, oh, a non-inter... Like, Retro is, like, a second-party developer, right? Like, people don't remember, like... Or there might be first-party, actually. I think Retro is owned by Nintendo. But regardless... Like, whenever, like, people think about, like, oh, a outside developer being handled or being handed a beloved franchise to do their own take on it, like, people don't think of, like, early Retro doing Metroid Prime. They don't think about Mercury Steam doing Metroid Dread. No, what they think about is they think about Ninja Theory doing DMC, or alternatively, Mercury Steam doing Castlevania Lords of Shadow, or literally any Silent Hill game made between 2006 and 2012. Okay, so we gotta... Let's fucking go. Yep. Nah. Oh, actually, I do want to take off the peony ornament. I don't care how much of the author's poorly disguised fetish makes it in. I'd be cool if a bunch of furries made the game studio and partner with Nintendo if it means we might get one good modern Star Fox. Yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to, is that if you want a Star Fox that's going to, like, sell well, You need to give it to somebody who wants to fuck the Star Fox team. Oh. Pudo fly. And who knows? Maybe that's what we'll get with whatever this mysterious, like, Star Fox game being released over the summer is. I don't know. Or maybe it'll just be SF64 again. There's the distinct possibility it could just be SF64 again. Village Report 2. Note left behind by a missing geological surveyor summarizing their findings about the enigmatic Kurosawa family. I tried peering into the old decayed well, but I couldn't see a thing through the inky blackness. When I listen closely, I can only hear the wind and nothing else. I can tell that the water in this well has all but dried up. Whether the manor or the well was abandoned first, I don't know, but I can tell neither have been in use for some time now. It might also mean that Crystal leaving Fox for that Panther guy isn't the last we see the series. I mean, yeah, if that's the ending you got. Also, Panther Caruso is probably a better lover than Fox anyway. Like, if we're being honest here, he's probably more attentive. According to the records I've dug up, this compound used to belong to a clan known as the Tsuchiharas, who were an influential family in these parts. 3 other powerful lineages also existed in the village, the Kiryu, Tachibana, and Osaka clans, all of which were permitted to possess their own unique crests. The writings I've managed to see indicate that they all operated as a group, managing both the village and its unique rituals, among other things. All of these individual clans are branch families that ultimately fall under the umbrella of the Kurosawa family, which leads the village festivals and, during rituals, seems to serve the role of a Shinto priest. The name Kurosawa itself is a routine fixture of many of the documents I come across, although concrete details about their overall background and identity are largely elusive. What I can say, though, is that the Kurosawa family probably exercised absolute power over the village. Just what happened to the people of this village, though? Where did they all disappear to? And how the hell do we get out of this place? All the answers are somewhere within the Kurosawa house. Can't say why I think that is. I just know it to be true. Sounds fake, but all right, man. Oh, I'm full up. Okay. Butterfly Diary 10. An old diary with a crimson butterfly decorating the cover. The page on the other side is completely blank. Yai, my sister, why did you run away without me? What's happened to Itsuki is our fault. You promised me that we would always be together. Sigh. Alright. Nintendo weren't fucking cowards. They would have made a Marcus McCloud game. Did you find her? That's all I'll say. Hey, man. I ain't found shit yet.
Key to the cell should be stored in the basement of the Osaka house. A hidden door behind the altar leads to the basement. Hurry back to save Sae. She might have already given up hope. Yai, both of you need to leave this village. We can't let them keep performing that ritual.
Yeah, right. We gotta go to Osaka house. Where the fuck is Osaka house again? Is this way. Door's open. Going in. Should I take my shoes off? Oh, I earned rewards points. Cool. Thanks, man. Obtain the Kurosawa storehouse key. Find the underground entrance. Alright, it said it was like... That's unsettling. I don't know where the other one of those is. Hold on. Oh, wait. There's a thing over here, isn't there? Aha! No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I'm trying to remember how I'm supposed to do this. Here we go. Nope. Hold on. No, I need to wait. Look, it's been a week since I last played this, okay? You can't expect me to remember how shit works. Or can you? This is the riddle of the ages. I would like to open this door. Oh. Right. A button is dodge. Ooh. Prayer beat. Save my funny little game. I'm genuinely not 100% certain, like, where the talking point of, like, oh, Miyamoto hates Crystal comes from, necessarily. That sounds like one of those things that, like, people took something out of context, or are just, like, making assumptions about. Kind of like the story about how Star Fox Adventures came to be. You know the one. But I don't know. I'm not some Nintendo historian. I'm just a shark on the internet. Fucked up box. Hate that thing. Some dude. Oh, fucking sick. Hold on. Blasted. Prayer bead. Now we're just getting all the fucking upgrade materials. Folklorist Note 5. Written remarks from a folklore scholar who came to study Minakami Village, outlining his intentions to visit the Kiryu house after investigating the Osaka family's compound. The Osaka House is a private dwelling of simple construction that sits at the entrance to Minakami Village. When people from neighboring villages come to Minakami, this is their first stop, where they unwind and relax. The remaining documents that I've managed to uncover all consist of basic records pertaining to such recent visitors. The house also contains guest rooms for said visitors to stay in. These are well ventilated and all around pleasant spaces to occupy. There is, however, one thing about this place that concerns me. When I first passed through the front entry of this place, I could keenly sense that my every movement was being observed. This makes me wonder if, in truth, the Osaka House serves to monitor outsiders who enter Minakami. Ryoza doesn't seem to have noticed it himself, but ever since we got to the village, I've constantly felt eyes on me. It makes me question whether we're truly welcome here as guests. At any rate, I think my next order of business will be to visit the Kiryu House, one of the twin houses as they're known here. Even though the Kiryu clan no longer exists from what I've been told, I should like to pore over the invaluable documents that yet remain. When I managed to sneak in there earlier, I was able to take a small peek. I wasn't disappointed. With enough persistence and research, I believe I may be able to learn about the ritualistic customs people like myself aren't meant to see, ones passed down from generation to generation. Okay, so I am going to need to be right back. Let me go ahead and get the BRB screen up here, and we'll just be a moment. Alright, I'm back. Ah. You know, I feel like I need to make, like, a particular distinction. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to express this quite the way that I want to. But when I say that, like, if the person whoever makes, like, a Star Fox game, the best way that you're going to get the best possible Star Fox game that you can get is if you get someone who is horny for the characters to work on it. Now, when I say that, I mean you need somebody who is horny for those characters in particular. Because I feel like it's kind of this whole thing where it's just like, you know, sex sells, but like I'm not talking about like Star Fox team needs to like fuck on camera in order to sell this game. No, what I mean is kind of more about like you hear the phrase sex sells, and what most people try to do, I feel like, is hit a very sort of like generalized idea of what that concept means. And you end up with something that is like horny, but almost in like a sterile way. You know what I mean? Like when I think about stuff where it's just like, oh yeah, the person who was like working on this is so goddamn horny for the thing that we are looking at. I'm thinking about stuff like Nier Automata. I'm thinking about stuff like Bayonetta. Because like there's a certain degree, there's a certain point that things hit where it's just like you have something that's like sexy for sexy's sake and it feels sexless, where it's just like it's the kind of thing that like whenever people complain about like, you know, like oh, pointless sex scenes, and it's like, okay, you're not complaining about sex scenes, you're complaining about bad writing, okay? Like baseline. No, we're not doing that bit again. Baseline, you're not complaining about the fact that there's sex scenes. You're complaining about the fact that the writing's bad. Okay? Because It's true. There is a point where it's just like, okay, we're putting in horny, sexy content for the sake of horny, sexy content, right? Where it's just like we're not there's no like it's not like it needs like a deeper meaning other than being sexy necessarily, but like the person who is like at the head of this thing doing this shit needs to at least be invested in it. You know what I mean? Like you think about I'm going to feel bad because I'm not remembering her name, but I think I know what it is. You think about Ikumi Nakamura, right? And it's just like this is a woman who was instrumental in a lot of like the design of, you know, Bayonetta, Evil Within, stuff like that, who is out here thirst posting over Lady Dimitrescu when they reveal. And again, Lady Dimitrescu is one of those examples where it's just like somebody on the team was so fucking horny for this character and it shows in the best possible way. You know? Like that realistically that's what I mean because like otherwise you get something like oh I'm in trouble. Okay. I got my back against the wall. Hold on. Fuck. Anyways. Like I hesitate to like discuss like shit that finds itself like at the center of a goddamn culture war. But like let's take what would be like a recent example? Let's talk Code Violet, that game that I talked about a little bit ago that it's just like very clearly rife with just like asset flips and AI, right? That game is like corporate horny. That game is like corporate horny because like you've got this character just like, oh, she spends like the entire like opening in her underwear or whatever, but like you're looking at her and it's just like this character was clearly, and like you're looking at her and you're looking at her costumes and you're just thinking like this character was designed by a boardroom to be sexy. Like this is a bunch of like dudes sitting around a table like focus group testing what is sexy. There was nobody on that team who was like ravenously horny for this character, and it shows. Five round stone tablets are fitted into the family altar. Is this some sort of mechanism to unlock the door? Okay. Oh. I'm gonna be entirely honest, I did that completely by accident. Oh, sick. Oh, cool. Yeah, this is what I want. This is a good idea. By the way, I didn't actually acknowledge it when I did it, but yes, we are wearing the Silent Hill F crossover outfit. I guess maybe there's supposed to be some, like, similar content for Silent Hill F itself, but I haven't seen any sort of announcement of that. But we get Mio in Hinako's outfit, so that's cool. Hold on, what's that? Cool. Oh. Ah, alright, alright. I'm picking up what you're putting down. What I'm picking up is this pot. Fuck. Ooh, prayer bead. Pale bead. Okay, I think that's where I came down from. Here we go. Type 14 film. Shimizu Hinako? Yes. Okay, I want to check the other direction. Welcome back, Kale. You miss me talking about genuine horny versus boardroom sexy. Let me guess, in the context of Crystal. It was with regards to Star Fox in general, actually. Whoa! I think I just got that guy in one. Damn, fucked up. Rare beads. It was Star Fox in general. I was saying that, like, whoever makes the next Star Fox game should want to fuck the entire Star Fox team. And the reason that I brought that up is that you can really tell when, like, something is made sexy, but, like, in the way that, like, a marketing firm would be like, oh, you know, sex sells, versus, like, somebody is, like, genuinely into what they're making. citing things like Lady Dimitrescu, Bayonetta, 2B from Nier Automata, or, quite frankly, Monato from Zenless Zone Zero. So Crystal Assault versus Crystal Adventures. Well, the negative version that I cited was... It's an hour. This is the Crystal stream. I would say Adventures is definitely... Or, not Adventures. I would say Assault is definitely the one where it's just like, okay... Let's go ahead and put something out there. So, Crystal in Adventures is definitely corporate boardroom focus group sexy. 100%. Fox isn't. You seen the arms on that boy in Adventures? Goddamn. I'm actually going to need to step away here in just a second. Now, Assault is definitely someone on the team was into this, not just because of Crystal, but also because of Panther. And that really shows. I'm going to be right back. Bear with me a moment. And Falco, I'd argue. 100%. Really just anybody in that game, for the most part. Even, like, Slippy's dad, probably. Be right back. Oh, and Wolf. And Leon. Not Pigma. And not Oikini. Alright, we're back. So, after talking about it multiple times over the last couple streams of this game, I did finally sit down and rewatch the Fatal Frame movie. And it's still a banger. If you've never had a chance to check out the Fatal Frame movie, we got a rusty key. Opens the Kurosawa House storehouse where Mayu awaits. You ever gotten a chance to check out the Fatal Frame movie? I highly recommend it. Oh. Hello, sir. Girl, we gotta get out of here. Girl, we gotta go. Damn it. I keep hitting the wrong button to dodge. So an interesting thing about the Fatal Frame movie, which I believe I might have mentioned previously, is that it is not primarily based on the games. It is actually based on a tie-in novel that had come out, I want to say, a few months prior, called Fatal Frame: A Curse That Only Affects Girls. And it is about this girl who was like so good at singing that she turned the entire population of her Catholic school into lesbians for her. And then one day she shuts herself up in a room for a week. And there's this one girl who's just like, yeah, I don't know what's up, but like I can't stop thinking about Aya. And her friend's just like, oh, well, it looks like you've got this picture of her. What's up with that? And just like, I don't know. Normal week at Catholic boarding school. Fuck. Really wish you wouldn't, bud. Anyway. Now that that's done. So there's this rumor going around about like, oh, did you hear about this curse that a girl can put on another girl? You take a photo of your love, and at midnight, when it's neither today nor tomorrow, you kiss the photo, and something does a course. And there's this photo of Aya that everybody is enamored with. That they're just that like they store it in like the attic, and suddenly it becomes like this game that like a bunch of these girls go up to the attic and they're just like, I'm gonna go kiss the Aya photo because my god, what a babe.
Get back to Mayu.
And as a result, a bunch of them just fucking disappear. Oh. A bunch of them just fucking disappear. And eventually they are found dead in a river. Like you do.
Why is it so dark?
Because it's nighttime? I feel like it's been nighttime this whole time, girl. Damn it, Yukiko. I told you to stop kissing the Midnight Channel. So, eventually, after a number of her peers have disappeared, one of the girls, what was her name? Michiki, I think? Might be just Michi. Anyway, Zendaya is Michi. No, I'm gonna find out what her name is, because otherwise it's gonna bother me. Zendaya's not in this movie. Fatal Frame movie. Gekijoban Zero. Casting characters. Michi, yeah. So, the primary character is Michi, but you wouldn't know that right out the gate because the start of the movie focuses on a different character, one of the girls who goes missing. And then it focuses on this trio of characters, one of which is Michi, and then two of them go missing. One of them shows back up, one of them dies. And there's like 3 other girls who die as well. So Michi is eventually fed up because like all of her friends are disappearing because she thinks that Aya is cursing them with this photo of hers that everybody keeps making out with tongue with. So she goes over to Aya's room and she's like, Aya, give them back. Stop it. Why are you doing this? And Aya like suddenly bursts out of her room and she's just like, are you a dumbass? This photo isn't even of me. Despite the fact that it's like a dead ringer for Aya, right? And this is where we start getting like the origins of like the curse itself and specifically how it relates towards attitudes towards same-sex couples in Japan. It's got a socio-political angle to it. Which is really interesting, honestly. And it's a cool movie. It's a cool movie. There's not a whole lot of like exorcism via camera, but photography plays a major role in the concept of the film. Not just like the fact that there's like the one photo of this girl that everybody thought was Aya, but like photography in general, especially with relating to this curse that's discussed. There is a camera obscura that shows up in the movie a few times. And there's this very funny thing. There is a character who, within the context of the movie, is a mother. Most of her appearances, she is all dolled up in like gothic Lolita fashion, and she's in like her late 20s or her potentially her 30s, living her life. People think she's a little bit weird, and she is a bit eccentric, but she is a fun character. The one time you see her out of the gothic Lolita outfit in the movie is when Michi and Aya go to find her at her job, and she's hanging out outside with all her coworkers, just like lighting up a cigarette. And it's just like, man, I don't smoke, but I feel that so hard. Employment do be like that sometimes. I gotta figure out where I'm going. Hold on. I actually don't remember specifically where Kurosawa House is. Aikaido Temple. Kurosawa House. Here we go. Jesus. Okay, so we just gotta head this way and take the alley on the right. Say, ooh, girl, shock me like an electric eel. Oh. Nope. baby girl. Turn me on with your electric feel. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Why doesn't lunar incense work? Lunar incense is supposed to refill my focus meter, right? I'm pretty sure. What are you even doing out here, man? Get out of here. Get a hobby. I love that I'm like struggling. She's struggling to breathe and she's still outpacing this motherfucker. Fuck. Damn it. Man, come on. I hate this fucking thing. Okay. Anyways, fucking goddamn. So, very funny thing happened recently in the world of... Alright, there's that thing. Very funny thing happened recently in the world of gaming. Hello. So there's this there's this little series, you may have heard of it, called Blood Rain, right? Big during like the PS2 Xbox era. Had a whole trilogy of films made about it with the involvement of one Uwe Boll. And then significantly more recently got a 2D side-scrolling game by the folks at WayForward. Called Blood Rain Betrayal. It was still like years ago, but like in terms of like where the series is vis-a-vis releases, it's the most recent one. It was recently announced that there would be a physical collector set collecting all three games that I think currently might be Europe only. I don't know if there was like an official American release yet or if it's going to be fucking limited run. Betrayal was pretty good. They got back Laura Bailey for it, and, you know, I enjoy me some Kaine. Now, the physical collector's release had a lot... It's got, like, all three games. It's got, like, some interesting stuff in it. And one of the major things that it has is... Oh, fuck. Well, as long as that other one doesn't show up. Fuck. Oh, God. 61 film takes too long to load, that's right. Hold on, can I... Yeah, let's upgrade reload speed. Fuck! Motherfucker! Goddamn. You know what? Fuck you. Get out of my way. I think you're so fucking cool. So one of the major things that it includes is, you know, as is often the case in a lot of these like physical collector sets, it's an art book. People like art books. People like seeing the path of a game's development. I love art books. I have several art books for games. One of my favorite art books fucking ever is the one for Castlevania Lords of Shadow. It's an absolute banger book of art design. If you ever want a art book that is just like front to back filled with like phenomenal work, get the Lords of Shadow art book. It's really good. But something that people started to notice looking at the art book for this Blood Rain collection is that one of the pieces of art within looked a little familiar. It was discovered that one of the in fact, I believe it was the one like directly on the fucking cover.
It won't open.
People realized that the art on the cover of the art book, which was ostensibly for Blood Rain Betrayals. Green Diary 1, a note that appears to have been written by the folklorist assistant outlining the state of the village since his last visit a decade prior, as well as his plans to investigate Koreha Shrine. Let me finish. So, people looked at it and they were just like, hey, this seems to just be like a heavily edited version of this concept art from Ninja Gaiden 2. And people lost their mind. As people are often wont to do. You know, art theft is kind of an issue, sort of in general. Especially these days when it comes to, like, you know, the advent of generative AI and everything. So people are pretty sensitive to art theft. As it turns out, this was a pre-concept visualization that was put together by somebody as part of, like, really, really early development of Blood Rain Betrayal. It was effectively the video game concept art of a mood board. They were basically like, hey, we want to get an idea of what we want Blood Rain Betrayal to be in terms of, like, visual identity. And we saw this piece of art for Ninja Gaiden 2 that was pretty dope, so we went ahead and edited it to look like Rain of Blood Rain fame, to kind of give you an idea of, like, sort of what we're going for. The sort of shit never meant to see the light of day. Never. But evidently, somebody who was out there compiling all of the development material for Blood Rain Betrayal did not realize that this was an early concept visualization and put it not just in the book, but on the book's cover, not thinking anything of it. And everyone that I have seen talk about this is just like, oh yeah, you know what? That's actually a pretty common game development thing. And it is very funny. Everybody seems to be pretty much cool with it now that they have that explanation. Where it's just like, yeah, no, you know what? This is actually very much a thing that like a game developer would do. This is 100% something a game dev, this is standard game dev practice. No one is surprised. Everyone's kind of laughing it off, and the people who are putting together the collection are just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and take it out. We're going to go ahead, scrutinize everything else, make sure that we don't have that everything that's in there is 100% stuff that was provided by our like internal artists that were working on the games, rather than something that was essentially, hey, here is my fucking mixtape to give you an idea of what sort of vibe I'm going for, basically. Which is nice, just because like I feel like this could have been genuine art theft. There is the distinct possibility that like at some point, just like, oh hey, we use like a concept from, we stole this concept from a different game, to use in our game. But no, it was really just like, hey, we're in the very early planning stages of Blood Rain Betrayal. What kind of attitude are we going for in this game? Well, here's this picture from Ninja Gaiden 2 that I edited to look like rain. I think this is kind of what we should aim for. Cool, let's get started. Genuinely the best possible ending for this sort of thing. I might get that. Like, I was thinking about it because, like, Limited Run did a whole, like, line of, like, physical releases for the Blood Rain series, and there was a part of me when they came up as part of the Vault, I was looking at it just like, could I just get the full Blood Rain series? But if they're putting out a collection, I might just get that, honestly. I detest Limited Run on, like, a purely, like, principle level, but, like, since they're, like, the only ones out there that are, like, actually putting out physical copies of certain games, unfortunately, sometimes I do need to engage with them if I want to be able to, like, own shit, you know? It sucks, but you know, if game industry is going to be going in the direction that it's going with regards to physical versus digital, then if I want to, like, own the things I buy as much as I possibly can, it's something I might just need to deal with. It's got to be at least 10 years since I last came to Minakami Village, back when my dad would visit it regularly as a merchant. Amazingly, the village looks the same as it did back then. In fact, the whole reason I decided to become a folklorist in the first place was to learn more about this place after traveling here so much as a little kid. I got to see Yai and Sai again, too. They certainly look a lot different than I remember them. They're much more grown up now. Me, on the other hand, they said I still look the same, which maybe makes me feel a little bashful, to be honest. According to the chief priest, the twins will be serving as maidens in the next festival here. And as for Itsuki and Mutsuki, I really wonder what happened to them. The letter I received from Itsuki has me truly worried. When I asked around the village, the people told me that they both died of illness. But here's the thing, I exchanged countless letters with Itsuki. Both of them always sounded like they were healthy. It sounds like Mutsuki, at least, really did die. But when I tried talking to Yai and Sai about Itsuki, their answers were really evasive. Limited Run presents NFL 2K27. Not to mention, in the last letter I received from him, it asked me to come for both of the girls on the day of the festival. When I asked them about that, they both fell silent for some reason. So what's going on here? What could have possibly happened? I know Itsuki was always scared of whatever this village festival is, ever since he was little. Maybe he ran away and that's why nobody wants to talk. Or is he still somewhere in this place, hiding in plain sight? I'm going to try and recall as much as I can about our time together growing up and search all over the village for him. I'll first check behind Koreha Shrine, where we used to play all the time. Maybe I'll figure something out there. So there was a pretty major announcement recently regarding Super Mario Galaxy movie. So Fox McCloud is going to be in Super Mario Galaxy. And I had a very strong reaction to both that information in and of itself as well as his design. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get this out of the way first. In terms of business practices, I respect Illumination. They were probably one of the first animation studios to like staunchly come out the gate swinging in terms of dunking on AI. Here's a fucking Onryo, I guess. I guess we do an Onryo now. Fuck my life. I got an achievement, float like a butterfly. I feel like that has been the first time in like a month that my achievements have actually shown up on screen when I get them. Fuck. Hold on. Fuck you. Anyway, what was I saying? On a level of purely business practices, I do actually respect Illumination. Like I said, they were one of the first studios to really kind of like come out swinging in dunking on generative AI, especially with regards to like artistic value and just general aesthetic of it. And I do deeply respect them for that. I also hear that they treat their animators really well and is generally, in terms of like animation studios, one of the better ones to work for. That being said, all of their movies are bad. Or at best are aggressively mediocre. And I don't like any of them. I think their character designs are god-awful. Just generally speaking. The only reason that, like, anything in the Super Mario Brothers movie looked good was probably because for a lot of the sort of general aesthetic of that movie, Nintendo was probably very strict about how everyone should look. And you can tell because there is exactly one character in that movie that looks like he belongs in an Illumination film, and it's the dog that they do battle with at the beginning of the film. Like, very early on. Everybody else, it looks like Nintendo was standing over their shoulders with a ruler and rapping them on the knuckles whenever they did something that was off-model. Hey, girl, hey. I should probably save. Hold on. New items have been added to the point exchange. So, already the idea of Fox McCloud being in an Illumination movie. First of all, the idea that this could potentially spin off into Illumination Star Fox fills me with an intense dread that I am going to need to live with for the rest of my days until one thing or the other happens. I want to talk to you about the Smash Project. Fuck off. Second off, the design is bad. Fox McCloud in the Super Mario Galaxy movie looks bad. He looks like an Illumination dog. You know that motherfucker is gonna open his mouth and he's gonna have way too many goddamn teeth. Like, more teeth than a cartoon character should reasonably have. It looks awful. I keep seeing people be like hype about it, and it's just like, no, bad. This is bad. You're bad. You're wrong for liking this. This looks like shit, and it's not gonna be good. And I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I had a whole fucking crash out about this yesterday. I felt like shit all day after I saw that announcement. There's zero horny in that box. That's what I'm fucking talking about. This is what happens when you design Fox McCloud and you don't want to fuck him. You get this shit. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other about his voice actor. They announced today that his voice actor was going to be Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell was recently in the Edgar Wright adaptation of Stephen King's The Running Man. He has a number of voice acting roles. He was in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, and 3 episodes of All Hail King Julian for Netflix. So we're not talking about somebody who has absolutely no experience voice acting, you know? Like, he's not on the level of, like, Jack Black's experience voice acting, but I would say he's probably a little bit higher in terms of, like, proper voice acting experience than Chris Pratt. He was also in Spy Kids 3D. I don't know if that affects anybody's opinion of him. The one person I've seen that has, like, distinctly recognized him as a character was somebody in Caramiella's server, Z, who recognized him as his character from Scream Queens. You are a better voice actor than Chris Pratt. You stepped over the bar. Good job. Okay, now let's be fair. Let's kind of be fair here a little bit. Chris Pratt is not actually that bad of a voice actor. I think he did if we ignore that Chris Pratt himself kind of sucks. Because again, like, it's this idea, you got to remember, we're not talking about, like, I feel like when Chris Pratt pivoted towards trying to be more of, like, the everyman action hero, I think that's where, like, he really kind of fell off, in terms of, like, his actual, like, sort of general appeal. And then also, you know, everything else he does. But you know, we have to remember that just like, we can't equate, like, general skill with whether or not someone's a good person. Johnny Depp has had fantastic acting roles. Johnny Depp fucking sucks. Chris Pratt has had fantastic acting roles. I thought he was great in all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I enjoyed him in the Lego movie. Never saw the sequel. Never saw Lego Movie 2, so I don't know how I can't really say anything about that. like I said, the pivot towards trying to be like everyman action hero is maybe not like I've he kind of sucks in like the Jurassic World movies. I know his recent movie Mercy did not do particularly well, and just to not leave voice acting out of it, Garfield fucking sucked. I'll give credit for the Lego movie. He nailed the climax monologue. Yeah, no, like, and some of this is probably voice direction also. Like, voice direction is all important, you know? Um, so, like, I won't sit here and say that I don't think that Chris Pratt can be a good actor or a good voice actor. I think he is kind of oversaturated. I don't think he put in a very good performance in the Super Mario Brothers movie. He's safe. Safe is a good word for it. And even then, like, boo. But Glenn Powell does have voice acting history. Like, he's voice acted before. But mainly the reason that Glenn Powell is here is because Glenn Powell was in Top Gun Maverick. And as part of Top Gun Maverick, apparently Tom Cruise helped him get his pilot's license. Which, okay, that sounds like the sort of thing Tom Cruise would do. Mr. fucking gets a helicopter license so that he can actually fly the helicopter in Mission Impossible Fallout. That's 100% within Tom Cruise's repertoire. But given that Glenn Powell was in Top Gun Maverick, that is probably why he is here as Fox McCloud for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So really, in my eyes, this is probably all going to come down to voice direction, which I don't have a lot of faith with whoever is doing voice direction over at Illumination, because voice direction in Illumination tends to be a lot. Hey girl, hey. Oh god, oh god. Mayu writing note.
Where are you? Mayu?
But a very funny thing... Okay, we'll listen to Mayu's thoughts and then I'll talk about this. Itsuki, I'm so sorry. I need to see you and apologize. I need to apologize to Chitose too. Oh.
You two go on by yourselves. And don't look back.
Yai, wait! Don't leave me behind! Horisei!
It's like what happened with Miyu and Mayu. Oh.
Still can't find her. The festival is about.
Oh, these guys are like filthy,
We need to
filthy.
catch her quickly.
Yai will come back for me. I know she will.
Huh.
Are you leaving me again?
Thanks, Mio. I appreciate that you read that for me, because I wouldn't have been able to.
Mayu? Where are you?
Tell you where she isn't. Here.
Perform the ritual. Once more.
Okay. So what was I going to talk about after that? Hold on. I'm trying to remember now. There you are, girl. Genuinely, what was I going to talk about? I had like a whole tangent I was going to start on, and now I can't remember what it was after that cutscene. Oh, shit.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's like actually her.
If only I could see you.
You were on Mario and Chris Pratt. Ah. So what was I going to talk about? Damn. This sucks. Now I cannot remember. Star Fox? Glenn? Glenn Powell? Nothing? Yeah. Run the tape back. Run the tape back. What was I talking about before I stopped? Oh, shit. Hello. Out of clip range. Kale, you're a subscriber. You can just, like, go back on the stream timeline and then return to live. That's a thing that they made it so that you can do now. Do you know? Fun fact. You can just run the tape back. It's a relatively recent update, so... Boo whoop.
I don't want to be alone. Stay with me. So Yai, please, kill me.
Girl, who is saying that? Hey. Blah. Quail beads. I've only got 2. Dang. Dirt removal. Remove blood and dirt from the camera obscure. I haven't actually, like, run into that as an issue. What on earth? Hello? Oh. Butterfly Diary 5. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, okay. So, that's right. Thank you, Kale. So, kind of funny thing happened on the day of. Now, okay, let me read this first. We decided to run away together, but we're still pretending to carry out the sacrifice. It's just our tradition, though. There's no need for it any longer. It's a secret game the two of us keep playing. Still deep down, part of me still feels uncertain. What if I came back to the village one day, just me? What if I only came back and fulfilled my... Only I came back and fulfilled my role, then nobody would have to go after Yai as my big sister. Itsuki might let me do that. I told Yai what I was thinking, how I wasn't sure what to do. She's so nice it's scary, to be honest. Okay. What are you? Oh, another prayer bead. Okay, so that will allow me to upgrade. Let's do film capacity, I guess. That'd be nice to have. More film. Trying to see if it was that or way too many teeth. Girl in Shadow. Girl what? I'm back. Did you find it? I did figure out what it was I was going to talk about, yeah. So... what I was going to talk about was the fact that there was a very funny thing that happened the day that the announcement was made. So I have a number of friends who know me as a big Star Fox fan. And I have a number of friends who go out of their way to tag me in announcements for things that they know I would like. Like, you know, tagging me for, like, Metroid games being announced or Bayonetta. I think I got tagged for Bayonetta Origins being announced the year that happened at the Game Awards. Hand-seeking woman. That sounds like the dumbest fucking personals ad I've ever heard. The day that they announced that that Fox McCloud was going to be in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, nobody tagged me in the news. I didn't get, like, a single notification. Like, I had seen it already. Like, I saw it, like, when it happened. But nobody tagged me. Nobody who had, like, missed me talking about it already tagged me in, like, on the announcement. There were 2 times during that day that somebody brought it up to me unprompted. The first was friend of the stream and housemate Opal messaging me on Discord and putting it behind a spoiler tag in case I didn't want to see it. knowing that I am not, like, the biggest proponent of, like, the Mario movies. And then the second person that brought it up to me unprompted was friend of the stream Zilla, who came out the gate apologizing to me that it happened. And part of me is sitting here thinking, like, wow, people were really kind of, like, hoping I would go as long as I could without seeing this, I guess. Super stuffed up Space Milky's what? Damn, you said it. Fuck, ow, bitch. Oh. Oh. Well, okay then. But hello, Venom Lad. We got anything good in here? We got blood. Blood's pretty good. Got a prayer bead. How many prayer beads do I have on me right now? I just got the one, okay. Girl, get therapy. What the fuck? Well, therapy in feudal Japan was probably bad. Therapy would have saved this entire game series. Most survival horror would never have happened if people got, like, proper fucking therapy. Silent Hill? Nothing. Thought that was a ghost. Oh god, they're making a Lord of the Rings sequel. I forgot. I was reminded. Are you guys ready for the Lord of the Rings sequel? The fuck you mean? Okay, so let's talk about this. It was announced the other day that there is another Lord of the Rings movie in the works, set to take place after the events of Return of the King, following an aged Samwise Gamgee, Meriadoc Brandybuck, and Peregrine Took, retracing the steps of their adventure. Hello, Zilla, welcome. And in the process, Samwise Gamgee's daughter discovers something that shows how the adventure in the War of the Ring was almost lost before it began. It's going to cover the Tom Bombadil chapters. Because we can't make anything that's not Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. They can't use the Silmarillion. We can't get anything. We gotta keep squeezing blood out of this stone. I'm down. Honestly. Like I've already accepted the fact that I'm gonna go see Search for Gollum. Listen, you need to understand something. There's genuinely nobody out there making fantasy like Lord of the Rings right now on like the scale of those movies. Bro, you played Search for Gollum. Yeah, and it was bad. Many have tried. There was the Warcraft movie. That sucked ass. I actually kind of liked it when I saw it, but like looking back on it, it's not very good. It's a very strange movie. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, very good movie. Didn't do well at the box office, tragically. It's really just these guys continuing to make Lord of the Rings films ad infinitum. And I mean, look, I liked War of the Rohirrim. I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a gorgeous film, and I watch it every so. I've seen it a few times now. I rather like it. It's being co-written by Stephen Colbert, which does actually give me a little bit of hope. Because if there is anybody whose hands I can trust around Lord of the Rings stuff, around Legendarium, around Tolkien stuff, Stephen Colbert is pretty up there, all things considered. And I bet he's going to have a great time with it, honestly. Shift around in my chair real quick. I hope he enjoys it. I hope he gives us the Tom Bombadil we always deserved. Bomb Tombadil. I need a drink. I keep fucking pausing this game. We have to play the video game. It is essential. Fuck! Ma'am. Come on. There's another one. There's two of them. Oh. Fuck. Anyway. Man, you are making it very hard to play the video game. I hope Stephen Colbert is Tom Bombadil. God, could you imagine? That's gonna be interesting, because that's gonna be, like... So I feel like I've talked about Rings of Power on this stream before. And And Rings of Power has done an admirable job of doing what it can to set itself apart from the Peter Jackson films, while still maintaining like a degree of familiarity so as not to like alienate like fans of those movies. And one of like the primary things that it got the chance to do was it got the chance to do Tom Bombadil. Like, Tom Bombadil is in Rings of Power. I think he's primarily second season, if I recall correctly. I don't think he's in the first season. But Rings of Power got to do Tom Bombadil. And I want to say, like, Tom Bombadil is, like, an ageless being. Like, all the other characters, it's just like, oh, this is the younger version of this character, this is the younger version of this character, you know? So it's like, there's not a huge amount of, like, moments where it's just like, oh, hey, we can, like, really compare these two characters between how they appear in Rings of Power versus how they appear in the Peter Jackson movies. Because it's just like, no, these are two characters at very different points in their lives. Whether it's Elrond, Galadriel, Grand Elf. Grand Elf is so dumb. But it's going to be interesting specifically because, like, realistically speaking, the Tom Bombadil in Rings of Power is going to be directly comparable to whatever the Tom Bombadil is in this upcoming movie. And I want to give a shout out specifically to friend of the stream and housemate Ixao, who 100% like nailed it in guessing specifically what they were going to do for this movie. Girl, how'd you get up there?
I'm so sorry.
Damn, alright. Grand Elf. Yeah, that was like... The Sacrifice, Quio Chapter 5, Woman in the Corridor. She's just a woman in the corridor. Yeah, I see a woman in the corridor. So in the event that you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, in Rings of Power, you have a character who is just like the stranger or whatever, but like it's Gandalf. It's Gandalf. Like, it's obviously Gandalf. It's clearly going to be Gandalf. Like, no doubt in my mind, this character will one day be Gandalf. And like, part of the mystery is this character's name, because there was this whole thing in the first season. There was this big mystery about how... Hold on. There was a central mystery in the first season about who the hell was going to turn out to be Sauron, right? Like, the entire concept of the first season is just like, Sauron is definitely pulling some strings behind the scenes. There's a number of characters present that have the capacity to be Sauron. Like an unrealized Sauron, a larval Sauron, a Sauronlet, if you will. and we don't know who it is. Prayer beads. And one of the possible one of the possibilities was the character who would eventually just be revealed to it's Gandalf. It's Gandalf. It's Gandalf. It's obviously Gandalf. But we didn't know that. I say we as if I was watching the show at that point. I wasn't. I didn't watch the show until way after, I think, I want to say season 2 had started airing, but I'm not 100% sure. Season 2 might have finished. I definitely want to keep up with season 3 when it comes out, whenever that is. No, season 2 had finished. That's right. So it's like it's Gandalf. But we didn't know that. So he shows up. He doesn't have a name. He doesn't know his name. He hasn't figured his name out. And like, this is kind of a major component of his character, is that he's trying to figure out who he is and who he is supposed to be. And he goes and he meets Tom Bombadil. And Tom Bombadil is just like, I can help you figure out who you're supposed to be. That's not what Tom Bombadil sounds like. But, regardless, he's like, I can help you figure out who you're supposed to be, who you're going to be. And I'm going to give you a secret test of character. Where I'm going to tell you that if you go to save your friends, you will never know the secrets of who you are. Ooh. And Gandalf, not Gandalf, is just like, fuck you, Tom Bombadil. I'm going to go save my friends. Then he gets back and he's just like, hey, Tom Bombadil, was this a secret test of character where if I hadn't gone to save my friends, I would have actually failed it, and going to save my friends is what caused me to succeed? And Tom Bombadil's just like, ha, yeah, you got me. And he saves a bunch of these, like, proto-hobbits, right?
Mayu.
Like, they're hobbits, but they're not hobbits. Whoa! Girl, fuck you. So he saves a bunch of these hobbits, not hobbits, from, like, this dark wizard that, like, we're not really sure who he's supposed to be. Like, there's a bunch of people thinking he might be Sauron. But, like, dude, what the hell? Was Sauron, like, already evil or something? What the fuck? You know? Please stop looking at me like that. Dodge a leer attack for the first time? Is that what I did? Oh, fuck. Okay, hold on. Anyway, so he saves a bunch of these hobbits, not hobbits, right? And just out of goddamn nowhere, they all start walking up to the guy, and they're like, "Thank you, Grand Elf." With the explanation given by Bomb Tombadil over here, that they're calling him a Grand Elf because they don't know what a fucking elf is. They've never seen, or they've never met an elf before, so they assume he is one, and they think he's grand. And he's sitting there. It's a very, I gotta say, it's fantastic kind of moment where it's just like he's listening to all these fuck-ass hobbits calling him Grand Elf. Man and Study. He's listening to all these fuck-ass hobbits call him Grand Elf. He's just like, Grand Elf. Gandalf. That's what they're going to call me one day. He doesn't sound like that. And it's just, it's so clumsy and stupid. Oh, man. I can't wait for season 3. That show is kind of a mess. Oh, boy. Folklorist Note 12. Written remarks from a folklore scholar who came to study Minakami Village, detailing the 2 bridges connecting the twin houses, as well as what lies beneath them. The Kiryu house appears to serve as a place where the twin maidens reside for an extended period while they undergo ritual purification. During this cleansing process, the twins are not allowed to leave the manor grounds, with one exception. They may also visit the second of the twin houses, the Tachibana house, via the heavenly and earthly bridges. When walking from the Tachibana house to the Kiryu house, the heavenly bridge on the second floor is used, whereas the opposite route is taken utilizing the earthly bridge, which sits underground. Speaking of which, the earthly bridge also connects to the deep path, the sprawling cavern system that lies beneath the village. What's more, something none are allowed to gaze upon reportedly lies within the innermost sanctum of the deep path. Kiryu, Kisama. Kisama. Only a selection of senior priests are permitted entry into the area, as well as a special group of individuals known as mourners. If this place is where the gate to hell lies, then I suppose the hidden ceremony is likely conducted underground. Film Reel 8. Projector film in a rusty case with Kiryu house keys seemingly written on the label. It looks like it could be viewed if attached to a projector. I don't know where to find a projector. Who has a fucking projector? I'm sure there is one, like, somewhere. Hell if I know where it is, though. Maybe once I get outside and check the map, it'll tell me. Oh. Youth venturing onward. Oh, hey. He opened the door for me. That was nice of him. Oh! Youth operating projector. Photo Minakami Bridge. Photograph labeled Minakami Bridge on the back. It shows a suspension bridge spanning a valley. Cool. Find a Gwave.
It won't open.
Alright, hold on. There's like stuff over here. Film Reel 1. Projector film in a rusty case with deep path seemingly written on the label. Looks like it could be viewed if attached to a projector. Prayer bead? Prayer bead. I got 3 of them. Yeah. Okay. Girl, pay attention to the movie. There'll be time to fuck around with the camera later. Okay, okay. You know, I want to go back to PAX one day. Penny Arcade did a pretty good comic today about dramatizing the fact that a lot of people are finding out for the first time what the PA in PAX stands for. It's a pretty solid comic. I do want to go to PAX one day, or back to PAX one day. I feel like I don't know if I ever talked about this on stream. I remember the very first... Hello, Boxa Hobo. What does it stand for? PA in PAX stands for Penny Arcade. Because PAX was started by the guys that do Penny Arcade. So it's the Penny Arcade Expo. Apparently, there's a lot of folks finding that out for the first time in the wake of... Sweet, I never would have guessed. There's a lot of folks finding that out for the first time in the wake of the re-release of Poker Night at the Inventory. And the re-emergence of Penny Arcade into the... it's a small reemergence, but it's a reemergence of Penny Arcade into sort of like the general, the larger like conversation. Wish that had happened for Homestar. Do people just not like Strong Bad anymore? Is that what it is? No, people love Strong Bad. I know that for a fact. Where the fuck am I go? Where do I go? Hold on. First floor. I don't know. I was talking about something. PAX. So, I don't know if I ever talked about this on stream. When I went to my first Penny Arcade Expo, my first PAX, the very first PAX East, I took so many goddamn pictures. And I feel like, since then, I have taken less and less pictures every time I've gone. And I feel like I know what the reason is. And the reason is because the first time that I went to PAX, I had a digital camera. I had a dedicated camera that I used to take pictures at PAX East 2010, I think it was. And I think that's part of the problem right there, is that when I go there and I know I have a camera in my phone, it doesn't feel like a camera. It feels just like my phone, so I don't think to like take pictures with it, you know? What a novelty. Not back then, no. Back then it was just like, oh, I've got a Canberra. You know? Minakami Village, Fork in Road. Hello, what's this? Oh, it's film. I get that. I don't take a lot of photos myself anymore. So, I think if I ever go to PAX, I want to like have a camera, and not just any camera. I want to get one of them fucking Fujifilm Instax cameras, the kind that they added to Final Fantasy XIV. Oh fuck. Priest approaching shrine. I feel like it would be fun to wander around PAX with an instant camera. Dude, that would rule. 100%. I wonder if they still make those cameras that like the instant print the photo once you take it. They do. Fujifilm does. That's what I'm referring to. If you search up Fujifilm Instax, they're a little pricey. They tend to be let me pull one up. There's a really nice kind of like classic black one that like looked like an older camera, but I don't mind if I have to get like one of the newer ones. So Fujifilm Instax, and that's Instax. They make a bunch of different kinds. They make like ones that take like wider pictures, ones that take like mini pictures. They take ones that do like the classic sort of like square. And I don't know, man. Like look at this. There's this one. There's this one that I'm looking at right now. It's one of the wide format instant cameras. And it comes with like a carrying case, it comes with batteries, it comes with 20 exposures of film, and it comes with a little photo album. It comes with an 80 pocket photo album. God, I'm just looking at these now. Like one of those, that set is like $230. So they are a little pricey, but like it's an instant camera, you know? Like there's admittedly like a novelty to it. And you don't have to get like the full set. Like if you just wanted the camera, you could get one that does like the mini format photos. And that one's like let's see. I'm seeing like around like $85 to $90 it looks like. Some of them come with a bunch of film. Some of them come with like nicer carrying cases. They're cool shit. And I would love to get one of those in the future if I decide that I want to go to another like major like convention or expo or something like that. Because I feel like it would be more conducive to like actually like taking photos. Like I feel like I would be more willing to like take photographs if it's like a dedicated object, you know? Random change of topic. What the fuck does Northern Lion have against Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? I keep seeing clips of there's this one clip from one of Northern Lion's streams that Natalie was looking at the other day, where he's kind of like railing against like the willing and unwilling like infantilization of adults that's been going on recently, which is a serious topic, you know. It feels like we're talking like getting into like Hays Code, Comics Code Authority type shit, where like nobody is willing to allow themselves like a little bit of discomfort. Everybody is searching for like the safest media they can possibly get. But every time he talks about this, the shorthand that he uses for this sort of thing is saying that like, oh, you're an adult and your favorite movie is like a kid's movie, which does feel, and it's always an animated movie, so it does feel a little bit like one of those things where it's just like, hey man, we've been trying to kind of like push the fact that like animation isn't a for kids thing for a few years now. Part of me wants to say like, hey, maybe ease up on it a little bit, but at the same time I'm like, you know what, I do kind of get it. It's kind of like that thing where it's just like a person watches like Steven Universe and thinks it's the peak of like the peak of storytelling because they haven't like actually like watched anything else. It comes off a bit snobby. It does. And like, I'm not going to deny that, but I get where he's coming from, and the thing that he's talking about is a genuine issue. But for whatever reason, he always brings up Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Like, it feels like he has a specific vendetta against that movie in particular. And I don't know why. Like, bro, what did this movie do to you? Oh. it's very funny. It's very funny to me that like this is like the common thread that keeps getting brought up. All right. We'll put that particular conversation topic on pause for a sec. Literally, fuck this cat in particular. Yeah, no kidding. We'll put this particular conversation topic on pause for a sec since we got an ad starting in like 30 seconds. In point of fact, I might actually go BRB during the ad, just because I need to go help Natalie with something. We've got maybe like another hour or so, probably of gameplay. So probably just like take a second here and I will be right back. Alright, I just need a second. One of the like pads fell off of my goddamn headphones. These probably need to be replaced, but I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to find like really good headphones like these that still plug into a headphone jack. I don't know. At least not for a decent price. Or maybe I would be able to, but like I like these ones in particular, and I feel like any other one is going to be like weird. Anyway. There's like a weird kind of, I don't want to call it a backlash necessarily. I think calling it a run back might be a little bit closer to kind of what it was. Specifically against Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, because like by this point everybody knows the whole like, oh, it's the realistic depiction of a panic attack bit, which like when you actually kind of like look into that is admittedly like kind of important, considering like the anxiety issues that Antonio Banderas had been dealing with for like a good part of his life. It was important for him to like make sure that that sort of thing is actually depicted properly. And also the fact that like within that same year we had a really, really bad depiction of the exact same thing in that fuck-ass Velma cartoon. God damn it. Where did you even come from? Fuck off. Get a hobby. Anyways. Gage using fighting game terms. Listen, I watch a lot of people who play, like, fighting games. I'm bound to pick some things up here and there. Do you know how much of that that crushing force video Wooly put out I watched? You can say Wooly versus and Pat stares out. I actually don't watch a lot of fighting game content from Pat. Like, I'll pop into stuff like Wooly's done on occasion, but it's not usually, like, I'm gonna be entirely honest, I miss Friday Night Fisticuffs. I feel like Friday Night Fisticuffs was such, like, a fantastic format. And, like, every day I'm sadder and sadder that Best Friends had to end when it did. Bro, did you just fucking whiff? fighting is pretty solid too. It is. I won't deny that. Yeah, cry about it, buddy. Me looking at a wailing spirit. Yeah, cry about it. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you know, we do kind of make fun of this now. Like, we joke about like how much people push the realistic depiction of a panic attack now, but at the same time kind of forget that, like, no, actually that was admittedly kind of a big deal at the time. There wasn't really anybody like in children's media like showing kind of like what this actually looked like. And stuff like that is always important to, like, show to an extent. Because it's important for kids to know that they're not, like, dying. There was a similar kind of thing, though I would say, like, this didn't do it particularly well. In the moment, there was a similar sort of thing regarding like Zootopia. Zootopia is 100% propaganda. Like, let's not mince words here. Zootopia is propaganda. But even with Zootopia being propaganda, there were a lot of people who at the time were genuinely praising it for kind of like, it's hard. It's explaining like social issues to kids is going to be difficult sometimes, unfortunately. So sometimes it doesn't really hurt to kind of like frame it in a way that kids are going to be able to digest a little bit easier, which is what Zootopia was trying to do in a lot of cases. And it, in retrospect, maybe didn't do it as well as we gave it credit for. And I haven't seen the sequel. I don't have any interest in seeing the sequel, quite frankly. But at the time, a lot of people point out just like, this is actually probably like important things to present in a way that kids can digest it. Even if you fumbled the metaphor a bit. Yeah. There is a degree, there is a level of, hey, you gave it your best shot that we're kind of working with here. I have no idea where the fuck I'm going. I think maybe... Okay. Okay. I see where I've gotten turned around here. There was an attempt. Yeah. Your legacy is not going to end up being teaching kids what a microaggression is. Your legacy is ultimately going to be somebody made a comic about Judy Hopps getting an abortion, and that's just kind of what everybody thinks about you now. But you tried. You gave it your best shot. I'm going to need to find that clip later. Kale thinking real hard about whether or not they want to hit that clip button right now. Whether I deserve it. I'd do it in a heartbeat if I knew what to clip, just saying. No, rather I'm thinking about if I want to do your editing work. What the fuck? Ah! Oh, shit. Ugh. Hey, boys. Let's not do anything we'll regret in this life or the next. Fuck that thing. Oh, he mad at me now. Are you mad at me? Oh. Did I get too far? Whoop. Ooh. Can you guys, like, get in frame together? You're terrible at this. Have you guys never taken a group photo before? Ow. Fuck. Whoop. That's it. Whew. Hello, Ganna. Welcome. Ah, that's you yelling in the Knott's farm. Also, I stepped away. Was this about looking at stuff in retrospect? Cop Ganna versus abortion comics. Can we go back to how fat Judy's ass is? Judy Hopps' ass is not that fat. I don't care what fucking fan artists are giving her. What kind of wagon fan artists are giving her. That being said, I do respect fan artists' vision of Judy Hopps more than I respect the canon version. Yeah, alright. The world cares. The world cares. The world cares, Cage. Fair enough. Oh. Man investigating the hilltop. What you investigating up here for, man? Village Report 4. A note left behind by a missing geological surveyor writing about their search around Misono Hill. Oh, my energy drink's gone. Mostly. I came back to this plateau to investigate the Torii Gate I saw when I first entered the village. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I tried, all I could find around the decaying gate was a bunch of trees and weeds. No signs of the path that Miyako and I took when we initially wandered in here. The plateau itself is actually known as Misono Hill. According to village records, it's an area of significant importance when it comes to the rituals of this place. At the center sits a formation of large rocks known as the Oblation Circle. Gotta really hit the B in there. Oblation Circle. Which is surrounded by a protective barrier. The Oblation Circle, as records describe it, functions as a sort of cover, meant to seal off some sort of hole, Reading that just makes me wonder what this hole could contain for them to use such enormous stones, let alone why it all needs to be sealed off in the first place. As always, there are a lot more questions than answers around here. For all I know, maybe this hole leads exactly to what I'm looking for, a way out of this village. Looks like I'll have something else I need to dig into further. So I must say this because sometimes it's just nice to set the reality of this stuff aside and embrace silly, dumb shit. No, absolutely. Village Report 5. A note left behind by a missing geological surveyor writing about their findings pertaining to the Deep Path, as well as their plans to visit the Kurosawa house. I have yet to find a way out of this village, but after re-examining the materials I found thus far, I came across some writing that might offer a clue. Underneath the village, there exists an enormous underground passageway system known as the Deep Path. From what I gather, it connects all the village's major locations to one another. It seems it's been in use for many years as a place to store valuable objects, as well as enable people to travel between each clan's property during rituals. While I was able to glean from this documentation just how big the Deep Path actually is, I have a hunch that it may connect to the outside world. Unfortunately, I haven't uncovered any leads about where the entrance to the Deep Path might be, but considering that the Kurosawa clan is in charge of the rituals in this village, I have a feeling that the answers may lie somewhere within their house. So I'm going to go there next to see what I can find. There's no time to waste. I have to reach the exit and find Miyako. Damn. Fucked up. Anyway. At any rate, all this started just because, like, I think it's weird that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish seems to be the one movie that Northern Lion gets hung up on every time he talks about this shit. Oh, hold on. Hole. There we go. Interesting. What we got here? A whale bead. What do I have for prayer beads right now? I've got 3. I don't know. I guess if you're talking about like that particular topic, like if you need to like pick a movie that kind of is emblematic of like the issue that you're referring to, you're probably going to need to pick a movie that like people enjoy. Man heading to cemetery. Like, what's the alternative? Like, you reference like Disney's Wish, because I guarantee you nobody's fucking watching that. Remember that movie? Remember how that was supposed to be like Disney's like centennial celebration or some shit that was gonna like tie together like all of their like classic animated movies, and then it was just so nothing of a film. I never hear anyone talk about Wish. Ever. That movie fucking evaporated. What's Wish? Wish was... Okay. So Wish was essentially, if I recall correctly, the story of the wishing star. If I remember correctly. And evidently it was supposed to kind of like tie everything together with regards to a lot of like classic Disney movies, like, you know, Peter Pan, Pinocchio. It was their Disney cinematic universe kind of movie, up to and including, I guess, the goat saying that he was going to go found Zootopia or some shit. I don't really get it. And I don't know if that what yeah, no, apparently that all happened. But I don't know for sure cuz I haven't seen the fucking movie. And I don't think, like, nobody talks about it. Like, the only time I rarely say that I don't believe you. Hold on, let me see. Let's hold on. We're gonna go ahead and pull up the Wikipedia. But I don't believe you. I think you're gaslighting me about this. We're gonna pull up the Wikipedia page for Wish. Wish. 2023 Disney animated film. Story follows a 17-year-old girl named Asha who makes a passionate plea to the stars in a moment of need. She meets a living, magic fallen star, and together they face the kingdom of Rosa's devious ruler, the sorcerer Magnifico, who's played by Chris Pine. Wish is inspired by Disney's Centennial, tying together the theme of most Disney films. Wish is coming true. The film is noted to be the origin story for the Wishing Star. The film's art style combines computer animation with the look of traditional animation. King Magnifico and his wife, Queen Amaya, established the Kingdom of Rosas on an island in the Mediterranean Sea. Having studied sorcery, Magnifico is able to grant the greatest desires of his subjects, but they have to give up the memory of their wishes to be sealed away and protected by the king until he can grant them. Once a month at a ceremonial event, Magnifico chooses one wish to be granted. Years later, 17-year-old Asha prepares to interview for the job of Magnifico's apprentice on the day of her grandfather Sabino's 100th birthday, hoping that Magnifico will grant Sabino's wish to inspire the next generation. The interview goes well until Asha requests for Sabino's wish to be granted, which Magnifico, rendered paranoid by the destruction of his old kingdom, declines, citing the wish's vagueness. Asha realizes Magnifico never intends to return the ungranted wishes to their owners, and when she questions his methods, Magnifico refuses to accept her apprenticeship. Asha tries but fails to convince Sabino and her mother Sakina of the flaws of Magnifico's system. Distraught, she makes her own wish on a star. To her surprise, a star descends from the sky in the form of an anthropomorphic star of light, which Asha names Star. Star's magic gives the forest animals, including Asha's pet goat Valentino, the ability to talk, and they tell her that all life is made of stardust. Encouraged, Asha enlists Star's help in retrieving her family's wishes. Everyone in the kingdom senses Star's presence, and Magnifico interprets it as a threat. Despite Amaya's pleas, he turns to a book of forbidden dark magic, which corrupts anyone that touches it, as the subjects begin to question the wishing system. Asha rallies her other friends Dahlia, Gabo, Hal, Bazima, Safi, and Dario to put an end to Magnifico's reign. Amaya also joins them, having discovered... Gage, I know you're not reading the wiki page for Wish. No, I am. Okay, we will stop reading the Wikipedia page for Wish. In part because I seem to have lost the tab that it was in now. This is because we reminded you of the Judy Nick abortion con. You didn't remind me of that. I remind him. I'm the one that brought that up. Which, by the way, gets even nuttier the more you read. Oh, like how Nick is Christian and Judy, like, hooks up with a lesbian fox after they break up. I don't know. That's about the extent of where my knowledge of it ends, unfortunately. Yeah, Wish is basically just them taking like a bunch of like elements and details from like other classic Disney movies. And just mashing them all together, basically. Oh, that's right. The main character of Wish is intended to like become Cinderella's fairy godmother. I forgot about that. Right, her pet goat has a wish that he wants to create an animal utopia. Is what it is. Oh, you didn't reach the part where they copied the JFK assassination bit? No, I didn't reach that part. I didn't actually read that fucking comic. I don't intend to. Let me just nab this real quick. Fun to be in a graveyard. Wish is just an embarrassment. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that was one of those movies that, like, because it was around, like, when generative AI started, like, really kind of popping up more and more, because that movie came out in 2023. I remember there was some accusation that the movie's script was written with AI just because it makes, like, a lot of... It takes, like, a lot of, like, really wild, like, turns that, like, didn't really make a lot of sense, like, in context. But at the same time, I think it's possible it was just written poorly. Trying to get both of these in frame if I can. I'm not sure where I gotta be. I probably need to be on that side for that. It says a lot when the animated Disney Studio short feels like a better 100-year anniversary than your big budget theatrically released movie. Twoo. Oh, hold on. Now there's this one. Who are you supposed to be paired with? There we go. Right, there's supposed to be like a whole red string of fate thing with the two, with each of those that I keep forgetting about. It's supposed to lead you to wherever the next one is. God, they showed off live action Moana too, and it just, oh. It don't look good. Disney taking L after L recently. And, like, such is their lot in life. You know, they thought they were hot shit for so long. I think they deserve to like, have the fucking century of humiliation. Studios full of artists that they spurned, beating them at their own game, that sort of thing, you know. Kiryu House Key. I'm gonna get fucking decimated trying to get out of here. I think what's, like, particularly unlucky about them showing off the shots from, like, live-action Moana when they did... Hold on. What's particularly unlucky about them showing off the shots from live-action Moana when they did is that they did it, like... Ow, fuck. They did it at the same time that everybody was making DLSS 5 jokes. Fucking goddamn. For fuck's sake, stop that. Oh, come on. Okay, that was bullshit. Double kill. They deserve it even more because we know Disney can do better, for sure. But they showed all this off when people were still making DLSS 5 jokes. So it's just like, bro, come on, you guys. We can literally put the two Tamatoas next to each other. You're teeing this up. You're teeing this up for us. Like, it's kind of... You're making it way too goddamn easy. Have some fucking self-respect, goddammit. Ooh, the suck cum man. Save my game. Oh, you're like a villain. You're like an enemy. Oh, the misery. Everything go poison in my emony. Anyway. I'm just getting absolutely harassed trying to get out of this fucking graveyard. What are ghosts doing in a graveyard? Weird. Hole entry. Gotta run all the way back to the village. Girl, trot way over there. Girl, trot, baby, girl, trot. Girl, trot, baby, girl, trot, baby. What I wouldn't give for a Grace Ashcroft girl scramble. I actually don't know how close you guys are right now. I'm gonna be honest. Ooh, they're splitting up on me. Fucking ow, jackass. Oh, oh. Oh, fuck. Okay. Rude. You know what? Fuck you. Die. Speaking of Zootopia, anyone got thoughts on Goat? Have not seen Goat yet. Still need to see that. Still need to see Bad Guys 2, but I have seen footage of it, and it looks phenomenal. That thing keeps getting me. I gotta make it, like, my homework to check out Goat. Sometime before, probably not before tomorrow's stream. But ideally before, like, one of next week's streams. Maybe I will do, like, a sexy little double feature with, motherfucking Bad Guys 2 as well. Because I really like the first Bad Guys movie. And not just because it's got a shark in it. though. That doesn't hurt its opinion with me. That does not hurt its standing. Oh, is this not the door I used the key on? Oh, maybe it's the one downstairs. The one's all, like, fucking cut up and shit. I feel like stuff like the Bad Guys movies and GOAT is another one of those sorts of... What the fuck door do I use this on? I'm in the completely wrong place. Okay, I gotta go over here. Those are another one of those, like, those are a couple of those movies where it's exactly what I was saying before, where it's just like, if you wanna, like, really grab people's attention, you kinda gotta wanna fuck the characters yourself, you know? Like, there's the obvious ones with GOAT, but, like, Natalie put on a fucking fan cam of, like, the lizard character from GOAT the other day, and I was watching it just like, oh, somebody wanted to fuck that lizard, you know? The fuck was that noise? Oh, it's out in the hall. Send me that fan cam. If I can ask Natalie to track it down, I will. Dude, the lizard's design is fucking amazing. It is. And it's the same thing with, like, the Bad Guys, where it's just, like, you look at, like, Big Bad Wolf or, like, Diane. Not even just those two, but, like, a bunch of the other characters as well. Mr. Wolf, Diane Foxington, Miss Spider, Mr. Shark. Like, each of them has a quality... Mr. Snake, each of them has a quality about them that is just like, there is somebody who was working on this character, whether it was, like, the animation for the character, whether it was design of the character, somewhere along the line, somebody wanted to fuck this character. Somebody on the crew for the Bad Guys wanted to get eaten by Mr. Snake. Someone on that crew really loves fart jokes. That too. And I mean, I can't blame them for that, you know? They're just so funny, guys. Don't look into it. Not super into spiders, but Ms. Tarantula. Yeah. Even despite the Aquafina. She's a little overplayed. I don't think she's Chris Pratt annoying, but that's what ball gags are for. Jesus Christ. You cannot carry any more items. Damn. Where is the other one of these things? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Oh. Interesting. Let's see. Can I get both of yous? Nailed it. Kung Fu Panda is another good example of that. I don't think we would have gotten nearly as much, like, horny Tigress fan art if there wasn't somebody on that team that wanted to fuck Tigress. Or Tai Lung. Or Lord Shen. Or Kai. Or that, like, minor wolf villain from the second movie. I couldn't get into Kung Fu Panda 4, though. I kind of stopped, like, halfway through that movie. I've made no attempt to go back to it. This is an ominous room. Don't think I like it. Fuck my life. Vanishing Twins. People really wanted to fuck Lord Shen. They're right to do so! Maybe if Lord Shen had gotten laid, he wouldn't have attempted a genocide. I'm just saying. Okay, what do we got around here? We got a save point in here. Good, good. We're probably going to want to wrap up here soon. All Lord Shen needed was a thick panda baddie and his entire world would have been different. 100%. I don't know. We've been on this for 40 goddamn minutes. Have fun clipping that bit. Thank you, Kale.
Won't open.
I'm probably going to be very, very selective about what parts I clip. I'm probably just going to make a highlight about the whole bit with Zootopia, honestly. All I'm saying, in the end, is that the history of animation is full of examples of dudes who pretty clearly wanted to fuck what they were drawing. And it's given us some of the most long-lasting, like, motherfucking Chell. Like, okay. Without getting into, like, certain questions regarding how well Road to El Dorado handles the topic of indigenous peoples to the Americas, Chell has been a character who has lasted a much longer time for what, if we're being entirely honest, is kind of a mid-animated movie, you know? Violet Diary 2, a diary sporting a purple color found sitting inside of Akane and Azami's room. I choked Azami to death with my hands. Yay! Her neck was soft, it was warm, it moved so slow and gentle, but it looked like Azami was in pain when I tried to do it alone, so one of the senior priests offered to help me at the very end, but Azami said she only wanted me to kill her, so Azami and I became one again, but now she's gone. Now I can't talk to her anymore. I can't believe it. Father brought Azami back. I said sorry to her so many times. Luckily, she forgave me. I don't want to kill anybody else. I don't want anybody else to be killed either. Father said Azami is actually a mannequin. He said he has to kill her. He's trying to kill you, Azami. I can't let him do that, Azami. I can't let anything bad happen to my sister again. Gage, I'm a fight. Listen, I love Road to El Dorado. It's like a 7 out of 10 at best. Dollmaker's Note 1. Writings from a dollmaker created the manners contraptions detailing the sequence of events that led him to creating one doll in particular. In order to bring comfort to Akane, now a remaining, I've decided to put together a doll that will pay tribute to Azami. Ever since the day of the ritual, Akane has lost all emotions, so shattered is her mind that when a person and a doll are placed next to another, she can no longer tell which is which. I see Akane talking to Azami constantly, never leaving her side for even a moment. What the two discuss, I have no idea, but it must be a sign that Akane's spirit is slowly returning to her little by little. If only the ritual hadn't happened, then Azami would never have become a butterfly and Akane would still have her soul. Fucked up. Like, do you think Milt Kahl didn't want to fuck Shere Khan? My phone died. I'm about to disappear again, but I hope I'll photograph a lot of ghosts. Alright, Scylla. Who didn't want to fuck Shere Khan? Fair enough. Do you think, oh god, what's his name? He was the guy who was like the animation director for Klaus? Sergio Pablos. Do you think that Sergio Pablos did not want to fuck Dr. Doppler from Treasure Planet? The answer is, of course he fucking did. Okay, what about Don Bluth? Dude could not make an unfuckable character. I would say that's not true. I am almost certain Don Bluth has been responsible for at least one character that I would probably consider unfuckable. But also, you're right. That was one hell of a direction you could take in the name of Treasure Planet. Captain Amelia was designed with love. Yeah, but I only know that Sergio Pablos was the animation supervisor for Dr. Doppler. I don't know the name of the person. I mean, I barely knew his name. I don't know the name of the person who was the animation director for Captain Amelia. But also, yes, you're right. Whoever was animating Captain Amelia wanted to fuck her. On some deep, primal level. That goes for a lot of characters in that movie. John Silver. John Silver. Are you going to sit there and tell me that whoever was out there animating John Silver did not want to fuck him at least a little bit to have given us that character? The people get from your work what you put into it.
Will you?
You gotta be at least a little horny for him. Don't ask me what that says about Stallion Spirit of the Cimarron. Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. Those are uncomfortable questions we do not want to start asking about James Baxter. I'm gonna be honest, I feel bad for that one. I feel a little bad for that one. Bro, those are questions that we know the answer to. Oh, man. Oh, we got a cutscene. Hold on. Hello. Right, twins. Got it. Oop. Are you guys mad at me? Fuck. I'm backed into a corner. Fuck. I gotta get out of this fucking corner, man. Whoop. Nice try. Oh, okay. So it's gonna be like that. I see. Nice try, kid. Scariest enemies of all, children. Fuck. Why do we kill Master Wayne? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. Anyways. Ooh, interesting. One of them was a doll. Oh, that's neat. That is kind of a cool detail, actually. Because it's the twins we were just reading about. That's neat. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Whoa! Perfect. Perfect photo. Flawless, no notes. Anyways, that's all the reason. That's all the reason the design of Star Fox for the Mario Galaxy movie bothers me. Dollmaker's Note 3. Writings from the Dollmaker created the Manor's contraptions, explaining some unfortunate sabotage that has taken place. Akane has sabotaged the doll mechanism underpinning the passage into the deep path, taking off with some of the parts. I must get that pair of twin dolls back in working order. Bam, brought it home. You know it. That will entail dropping Azami, or rather the mannequin acting as her, into the thereby sending its soul back into the depths of hell. That pathway also leads to just in case, I'll outline how to fix the doll mechanism here. You never know when that information might come in handy. After inspecting the damage, I've concluded that Akane and the mannequin have hidden 3 parts. These parts are listed as follows: a right hand, a left hand, and a head. So no head. All that needs to be done is find these parts and place them back on the damaged locations. Once everything is made whole, the mechanism should operate again as normal. If I move this, I can get to Mayu through the underground.
I need to fix the doll.
Bro, I gotta what the fuck? Death's wish. Hello. Dollmaker's Note 4. Writings from a dollmaker who created the Manor's contraptions, recalling an encounter he had with the soul of the real Azami. I saw Azami again, the real Azami, the one that should have long arrived at the god's side, but now, by now, after being placed into the... She appeared to me by accompanied by a crimson butterfly, urging me to kill the mannequin that I created in her place. Truly, I have committed a terrible act. It was wrong of me to try to create her again after she and Akane had become whole. I think Azami was trying to reveal the locations of the doll mechanism's head and hands. She said that these parts are hidden in the manor somewhere, in a small room with a box. It's imperative I track them all down and get the doll working again as soon as possible. Bump. Okay. So we're gonna do all that, but we're gonna do that next time we reconvene on Friday of this coming week. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for coming by the stream. I hope you all had a good time. I know I did. If you enjoyed the stream, you can subscribe here on Twitch. We have special emotes for subscribers. You can also follow me on Blue Sky and Tumblr at AcidXShark. That's AcidXSHRK, where I post all the streams as they happen. Or you can follow me on YouTube at AcidXShark, where I post all the streams after they happen. Art for the stream was done by my good friend Molly, who you can find on various socials media at Ginger Is a Spice. That's GingerIsaspice. Molly's going through some tough times right now, and could use a little bit of monetary help. If you're able to donate, I would ask that you do so. Otherwise, if you're just able to share their various posts on Tumblr and Blue Sky, also would recommend that. Just give them a hand. Upcoming streams tomorrow, we have the Hatching Tide event for FF14. We will also be doing at least one run of Alo Alo Island and at least one run of The Merchant's Tale. That's all going to kind of come down to basically how much time the Hatching Tide thing takes me, and then how much time each run of those takes me, and really just how much I want to keep doing it. Next week, Tuesday, Bioshock 2, Thursday, Undertale Yellow, and Friday, Fatal Frame 2. Heard Hatching Tide stuff is really good. They've been knocking it out of the park with holiday events recently, quite frankly. Can't complain. They've been making them a lot more dynamic, and I really appreciate that. I think that's gonna be it. It's pretty late, so I don't think I know anybody who is in the middle of like streaming right now. Let me check. Oh, Ulsa's streaming. Tax? Oh, it's TurboTax. Blah. Don't use TurboTax. Hey. As somebody who's already gotten their taxes for the year done, don't use TurboTax. I didn't use TurboTax. I think I used TaxAct, if I recall correctly. Don't fucking use TurboTax. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be nice. Be kind to yourself. Don't use TurboTax. Ulse has been going for 3.5 hours. Let's go ahead and raid into Ulse. We're going to go ahead and go over to Machine 17. So stick around for that. And in the meantime, I will see you next time on the Shark Stream. Same Shark time, same Shark channel. Take care, everybody.